you're going to do it, the audit should be worth it. The problem is, audits are hard. Yet we've issued over 20,000 reports to 2,000 clients worldwide.
You have to be, perfect 100% of the time. The attackers only have to be perfect one time.
Cybersecurity and compliance will no longer be a mystery. Hey everyone, welcome into our cybersecurity mission. My name is Allie Krings, I'm your host. Today we're sitting down with Jackson Widener. Jackson, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here.
We're gonna have a really great conversation all about mental wellness in cybersecurity, but before we get there, Jackson, I wanna know a little bit about you. So tell us about what you currently do with Kirkpatrick Price.
So I've been with Kirkpatrick Price around 7 months now, and I am an account executive. So basically I go in and I cover Colorado and California, being able to really, work with their clients, work with anyone who, has a question about an audit or pen testing or compliance in general, being able to go in and really help solve those problems. I mean, that's why I love working here, yeah.
It's really interesting to me because a lot of the times when I think of a cybersecurity professional, I am thinking of an auditor, I'm thinking of the IT guy, I'm thinking of a security professional. So I don't always think of the account executive, so I love to hear the way you're bridging the gap. What's your background like in cybersecurity?
So I've been with cybersecurity for almost my whole career. I started at a identity access management firm,
Cool.
And being able to, work deep into the actual technical parts of the, cybersecurity with passwords, usernames, all that fun stuff.
So if I lose my password, were you the guy to call?
Oh yeah. Hey, don't put your password on a Post-it note behind you in the Zoom that I've seen a few times. So
You're kidding me.
Yeah, no, it's actually true. It's kind of crazy.
Well, that is a major tip. So you worked in the identity space. What else have you done?
So then I moved to the partner space where basically I was, being more of a consulting role in the actual sale. And then that's what led me to join Kirkpatrick Price as, kind of the cybersecurity consultant in my role basically. So being able to, really dive deep into the problems that the customer has and being able to really work with them to get them to the journey that they want to get to, get them to the end state of cybersecurity compliance, which honestly I really love.
And I love your passion for people, not just cybersecurity, but truly people. And matter of fact, this conversation that we're going to have, it is all about mental wellness, which maybe some people would think is a deviation from our typical topics, but I think it's a really important one to cover in this space. Tell us, why did you want to start a conversation about mental wellness in cybersecurity?
So really it was based on, I was trying to find a topic and a group of people, something that really was important but not talked about a lot in the cybersecurity space. I mean, I was at a conference and the amount of AI talk, there was a booth that said AI for your AI, it's crazy. And being able to work with these, cybersecurity executives to really find something that they care about that, isn't talked about in a conference setting. So being able to, create that group and be able to create, a group of 10 plus people all having dinner together and talking about really what is bringing, their mental wellness topic into the conversation of their careers.
I want to let everybody know right away, if you are already kind of piquing an interest in this conversation, I do invite you to go to LinkedIn. Jackson's actually started a group on LinkedIn where this can be a bigger conversation, where you can really make it part of your everyday and just a resource to have that support. So Jackson, tell us again, how do we find that on LinkedIn?
So it's going to be Cybersecurity Minds of Colorado, but we want to offer that, group to anyone that wants to join the conversation that thinks they have something to bring to the table.
Was that a difficult conversation to have? Because when I do think about mental wellness and mental health in general, for some people it can be intimidating or almost like there's barriers up. So did you initially feel like there might have been some walls up, or was everyone pretty open right away?
So I think since it was the first dinner we had with this topic, I think the people there really were a tight-knit group and they wanted to talk about this.
Cool.
I think that throughout the dinner, people started sharing more stories. People started sharing more, personal details about their cybersecurity careers and being able to, how do you prevent burnout? How do you, what do you read that you see online, or what do you look at, in terms of, being able to see, what the other peers, other CISOs
Sure.
are doing, and how to connect those with, the mental stability of the role itself, because it's a really powerful, and you have a lot of pressure from the higher ups, and if something goes wrong, it's your butt on the line.
Yep. So walk us through that a little bit. I mean, why is mental wellness, specifically in cybersecurity, important?
So I think it's really important because, like I was saying before, basically you have all of the pressure from the top down coming down at you, and you have to be, perfect 100% of the time. The attackers only have to be perfect one time. And then that pressure that you're building, and if you're talking with a C-level executive that's like, hey, why did this happen? You have to have a calm, collected head to really say, hey, here's the steps, how we're going to fix it. This is what's happening. And then being able to, with the group, share stories about that really kind of opened up the ideas throughout the group. Really being able to dive into, what helps other people's mental health in that role, and then being able to bounce ideas off of each other. That's kind of what made the group so powerful.
It's so exciting. And by the way, just for further clarification behind the scenes, I did see your post on LinkedIn, but it was another member from our Kirkpatrick Price team who reached out to me and said, hey, Jackson's building this really awesome thing in Denver. I think that we should keep talking about it because this is such a big conversation. And so, as the host of our cybersecurity mission, I love that this was part of the mission, not just making sure we're executing everything well, but making sure that the people who are the boots on the ground, that they're feeling good, and able to execute to that level of professionalism. Because I think we've all been in a situation, not necessarily cybersecurity related, but your emotions get the better of you, and it's a hot-headed moment, or you're experiencing fatigue, and then you're not able to make the right decisions.
Exactly. And one of the most powerful things I heard from that conversation was this book called Ikigai. Have you ever heard of it?
No, I haven't.
So it's a Japanese word for, balance. And it is a book that I've read and a few other people at the dinner have read. And it's really powerful for specifically mental health in any career. So it's basically, how do you find happiness in what you do? And it's the perfect balance of what you're good at, what the world needs, what you can get paid for, and what you enjoy doing. And if you have all four of those combined, that's the Japanese word for ikigai.
Oh, wow. Okay, I love that, because I think for so many people, you're trying to check boxes in your career, and it's like, well, I love this hobby, but I'm not going to get paid for it, right?
Yeah.
Or I'm really good at this, but the world just doesn't need somebody like that, right? You have to have that perfect kind of storm for it really to come together.
Yeah.
So when you guys started talking about mental wellness, what were some of the strategies people started sharing, or maybe let's start with some of the stories. What were some of the stories people shared about maybe not feeling their best or struggling through?
So to get to the C-level of cybersecurity, I mean, you have to go through a bunch of steps and, problems that occur in your career.
Right.
So being able to see, the stories of how people dealt with their first, say, cyber attack or ransomware attack versus where they are at the C-level. I mean, the strategies they had were actually just, really profound. It's not the your own, not the CISO's own mental health, that's really the issue. It is the people below you.
Yeah.
You know, when you have a cyber attack, this may be your fifth, sixth cyber attack. Like, you know how to deal with it. You know how to, you know, go through the motions. But the people under you, this may be the end of the world for them.
Yeah.
And it really all depends on your mindset and being able to, you know what your product is, and being able to, you know, say, for example, if there's a really critical infrastructure that has a cyber attack,
Yep.
that's going to be a lot different from a, you know, like a manufacturer or something that's not life or death. So I feel like one of the stories that I heard at the dinner was that one of the people, you know, they used to work at a very, very big, you know, life critical infrastructure, like they were the head of that, and being able to, you know, work and see at their new role that they were not dealing with life or death situations, it kind of helped them relax and be like, this has happened before. It's not like
Yep.
no one's going to get hurt from this.
Yep.
It just is what you have to do and go through the motions.
I know we've been talking a lot about those like cyber attacks, but I think another part of mental wellness and cybersecurity is going through an audit. And maybe you are in a position where you're saying, our company, you know, we've volunteered for this, right? We want to get audited, we want to get a credential or whatever it may be. That too can really take a toll on people.
Oh, for sure. I mean, some people, the CISO and the people that are actually wanting this audit,
Yeah.
you know, they are really, really invested, but they may have come into a shop that really wasn't prepared. Everything's disorganized, everything's scattered and stuff like that, and basically you have to go in and fix it. And I mean, you can be as, you know, gung-ho about getting an audit and getting an accreditation, but if your infrastructure isn't there,
Yeah.
then that's a really stressful situation. And I mean, being able to deal, if that happens 2 or 3 times at 2 or 3 different places, I mean, that's serious burnout that can happen.
Absolutely. And burnout, especially in an industry like this, that's a big problem because we're already in an industry where the path to get in, I feel like there's a big gap between the top level where they have a certain level of education and those coming in, they're kind of missing out on some of those earlier pieces like the training. And so burnout at an early stage is a big problem.
Exactly, and I think that, so one of the people that worked with us for the dinner, his name is Heath O'Keefe, and
Okay.
he has a company that he's made called Paradigm, which basically takes cybersecurity individuals and kind of helps them through a training course for, you know, being able to prepare for burnout and be able to prepare in the very beginning of your career for how do you deal with that. One of his stories was he climbed the ladder and got to the C-level very, very quickly.
Yep.
And he didn't know how to deal with that much pressure. Because I mean, if you're, you know, an early 30-something and you're now leading a team of cybersecurity,
Right.
you know, a cybersecurity team, you may not know how to deal with the pressures that's pushed down from you.
Let's talk about some of the strategies then, because we understand like there is a little bit of a gap. There's a miss in that maybe cybersecurity, it's all the IT people, the techie people, so we think, but IT people are people too,
Yeah,
right?
exactly,
They have
yep.
feelings, okay? Let's talk about some of the strategies so that when you are faced with a cyber attack, what should we do to like ensure that we're feeling good?
I think really just focus on your team. Like the strategies that they were talking about that impacted them the most were really, you know, what your mental mindset does to your team. And if you are, you know, freaking out and saying, hey, we really got to do something about this, I mean, and really just kind of going over the top about it, that's what your team's going to feel as well.
Yeah.
So I think the strategy is really just take a breath, step back, realize that it's not the end of the world, and that yes, there's a lot of pressure and a lot of different, you know, eyes looking down on you, but in reality, you did all you could. Like if you really just give everything you can to the mission of cybersecurity, and you really put all your effort into there, it most of the time probably will work, but sometimes, it just is what it is. It happens. And you have to step back at that and say, I can control what I can control, and everything that's out of my control, don't let it affect you.
Absolutely. I think for a lot of people, just being able to take that step back and breathe first and then assess on what is going to be the next step that they need to take. What about the mental mindset for going into an audit? So, a cyber attack is one thing because that's a surprise, right? But there's also, you're faced with challenges that are coming, right? It's planned, it's on your calendar that you are going to be audited. What can we do there?
So I think, you can kind of look at it the same way, like seeing the pressure of being audited and getting that accreditation. Just take a step back, really just look from a high level at what your security posture looks like from a, high level, and then being able to look at the framework that you're trying to get audited and really just, find the ability to really just walk through slowly rather than just try to get it done all at once or try to push it through as quickly as possible. Really take the time and be able to, have a quality audit versus, a quick audit.
Cool. Well, Jackson, I want to say thank you so much for taking the time to sit down with us. Thank you to all of you for listening. I do invite you to find Jackson, to join the group. Again, if you guys have any other specific questions about mental wellness and cybersecurity or other questions, I invite you to go online, kirkpatrickprice.com/podcast. That's where people can leave comments. So maybe something specific to Jackson, or maybe you're just, on your drive and something pops into your head about a topic you'd love for us to cover. We'd love to do that as well. But with that, Jackson, I say thank you so much for joining me. It was a treat to chat with you. My friends, we'll see you again soon in our cybersecurity mission. When you work with a Kirkpatrick Price cybersecurity auditor, you work with someone who's been in your shoes. Let's see what the next expert is ready to share to support you in your cybersecurity mission.
Hi, I'm Tony Melton. I'm an information security auditor at Kirkpatrick Price. And one of my favorite topics is backup and restoration. I like backup and restoration primarily because it provides you with the security and the feeling of confidence if things happen, as they often will do. One of the resources I suggest is using a cloud backup, with availability in different zones and actually different areas. With that, I would also recommend doing local backups. A resource is Veeam, where you can do a local resources and also backup to a cloud environment.
Are you ready to join a community of 10,000 people who are working together to elevate the standards for cybersecurity and compliance? It's free to sign up at kirkpatrickprice.com/podcast or check the show notes and achieve greater levels of assurance today. Thanks for joining us on our cybersecurity mission.